So the next business I'll be talking about is what I call the photo booth business. Now this business can earn you about $5,000 to $10,000 on a monthly basis depending on how well you run it and the number of it. So in recent times there has been a lot of high demand for personal photographs. Most people want to capture their most interesting or beautiful experiences in pictures. Now, why do I love this business? Well, for several reasons. Number one, the ease at which you can start up the business. Number two, the little cost for starting up the business as well. The next is the flexibility at which you can run the business. You can work at your own time. You can actually move the equipment all over the place, so it's very portable. And lastly, it's easy to use and train people. So if you have staff on that business, it's easy to train them on the business and how it runs. Now, I have several friends that have done the photo booth business over time, and they've told me that it makes about $700 to $1,200 for a 3 to 5 hour event, which is even better than most 9 to 5 jobs today. Now, I also went on Google to do a search on photo booth rentals, and I saw that it was about 2,900 searches per month, which means it is in very high demand today. Now let's dive into the startup requirements and costs, which I've itemized based on my understanding and interactions with people that are doing the business at the moment. So overall, you should expect to spend about $3,000 to $12,000 or even about $14,000 on an average to start up this business. Now the photo booth itself will cost about $2,000 to $9,000. Now there are several manufacturers that produce this photo booth business, which I'm going to show you in a second. Air Booth manufactures photo booths. As you can see, the modern photo booth provider. So you can see the different types they have, which you can actually purchase from them. So this is one supplier. We also have another one called boothactive.com. You can actually go here and check for the photo booths they provide. As you can see from my screen, they have photo booths, mean booths, and they have a package of box to carry. Now the third guy is called Zentek. Zentek produces photo booths as well as the other ones. So now if you need a list, I have a long list of photo booth manufacturers. If you need the list, I can actually share that in the comments, or just drop a comment and I'm going to send that to you. So the typical photo booth is made up of the body, a camera on an iPad, then the tripod or the stand, and of course the light. And most importantly is the software that is used. So we have Apple software, we have Simple Boot, and we have many others out there. You also need the case for storing the equipment. So all these are factored into the cost of the photo booth, which I mentioned is about $2,000 to about $9,000. So the next cost I would recommend you incur is on Canva. So Canva is used to design the backdrop or anything relating to the photo booth itself. So if you don't know what Canva is, I'm just going to show you. So this is what the Canva platform looks like. I would recommend you go for the premium version. All you need to do is search for whatever you want to do. So if it's a wedding, you can just type and you see different wedding designs or templates which you can use to extract, and of course you can then tweak it to whatever you want. So for instance, if I was to pick welcome to this wedding, I can then customize the template the way I want, and based on the customization of the template, use it for. So this is what it looks like. You can actually change the pictures here, change the headings, put the names of the individuals that you're also providing services to, and just to make it customized, and you can put it as the background on it. Now the average Canva Premium will cost about $20 on average. The next cost is what I call props. So props will be those big sunglasses, all of those buzzwords that people hold when they take pictures. Those are called props. So you can actually incur cost on those. It doesn't cost more than $150, pretty cheap. You can get as many as possible and put them in your box or storage. Another cost you'll likely be incurring is to set up your business. It's up to you if you want to set up a sole proprietorship or incorporation. It's all up to you, your choice. This is optional. Usually sole proprietorship will cost about, I think, $60, and an incorporation will be about $200 to $300 plus or minus. The next important cost is the marketing and branding. Now for the branding, you want to create your logo, you want to select your colors for your brand, you want to establish all of those things such that you can, present your business cards or have your t-shirts that has the brand name and the logo, just to establish your brand and differentiate you from other suppliers or service providers. The other likely cost to be incurring is the photo booth software cost. So that's like a subscription model on a monthly basis. You can actually pay, say, $30 or $40 depending on the software you're using. Then you also want to track your expenditure and income through accounting software such as QuickBook and so on. Usually QuickBook costs about $10 to $12 on a monthly basis for subscription. I know one very important question you're asking me is how do I recoup, or how long will it take me to recoup my expenditures? If all things go right, you should be recouping your expenditure in about 6 to 8 months, which means that by the time you're doing your 12th month, you probably are already making so much gain. As always, you can fund this business using personal savings. You can actually reach out to families and friends, get business loans, use your line of credit or your credit cards. You can actually go for crowdfunding platforms. There are many of them out there, but the most popular ones are Kickstarter and Indiegogo. So I can actually drop the link so you can access them if you need to. So if you want to set up, I've already given you the breakdown of all the things you need to do, but in terms of steps you need to follow when you want to set up, the first and most important one is know who your target market is. Are you going to niche down to a specific people? Are you going to work on only the wedding area, or are you going to focus on people that are doing birthdays, or are you just going to focus on the broad market as a whole? You need to know who your target customers are. Number 2 step is to establish a budget. You need to know all your inflows or your expected inflow and outflow, determine what your typical cost would be. I already given you a breakdown of the cost you'd expect to be. Once you factor that in, you should be good. So the third step is to establish a business plan. So a business plan will typically have the mission, vision, and objectives of the business, what your value proposition is, your business model, your customer base, how you intend to reach out to the customers, your marketing approach, and so many more. You need to have your business model clearly established, and I would recommend that you have it readily available, so whenever an opportunity to pitch your sales or your activities to people, it will be easy for you to do that. Now, in terms of pricing, which I think is the next important step, you need to establish how much you'll be charging your customers. Now, this might be a typically hard process for people to do, but I'll tell you how to go about it. So if you want to determine the price point you want to set for the customer, I'd recommend you go on platforms like Kijiji. You want to go on platforms like Facebook Marketplace to see how much a typical person would sell, to see how much a typical person will provide that services for. Now, the other way you can go about it is to determine what your objectives are at the end of the year, how much you want to make by the end of the year. If you want to make 100,000, you have to break it down into monthly income, daily income, weekly income, and then factor all of those things into the price you want to charge the customer. But I would recommend that you go easy at the beginning. Don't overcharge the customer. As time goes on, you can always scale up your prices. Another good approach that can also work in terms of pricing is to use a tiered pricing system. So a tiered pricing system can be by time, how much time you spend. It can be by the number of pictures that are taken. For instance, if you say, if I spend 3 hours, I'll be charging you $50. If I spend 4 hours, I'll be charging you, say, $100. That's just an example of how you can do it in a tiered version. Also, you can increase your opportunity to make more money by providing add-on services. There are add-on services you can do, like printing on mugs or cups. You can also print on backdrops for the customer. You can also provide print-on-demand services in addition to what you're already doing. These are just potential income generating opportunities in addition to your photo booth services. So the next step to do is to start marketing intensively. You already have your equipment, you already have all the necessary things you need to do. Now, the last and most important thing I would recommend, I could literally beg you to do, is to build relationships. Now, if you think that relationship is not important, then you're losing out. I don't think there's any business that will thrive without good relationship with the customer. So you want to reach out to the customer. So for customers that have already used you for service, retain their phone numbers or their emails or their contacts and send them periodic newsletters. So what that does is it keeps them in touch, so that if they have some other activities down the line, they can always reach out to you. You can also ask customers to write a review about your business on Google or any other platform where your brand has been created. For instance, if you have a Google account and you have a Google business account, you also want people to give you a review on those areas. So I love this business because of the potential for growth. It has an expansionary potential. Then it also has flexibility. You can work at it at any time of your day. You can choose your hours you want to work. And averagely, it takes about 5 to 10 hours max in a week, which to get that level of income, which is amazing. Now, in terms of the cons, it requires an in-person, service provision, unless of course if you have a staff that can do the job for you. And the other very big challenge for some people is, building that initial customer base. But I assure you, once you have that customer base, it becomes much easier over time. All right, I hope you enjoyed the time listening to the gems I dropped in this video and you gained a lot from this video. If you found it exciting and insightful, please like and subscribe as much as you can so you don't miss out on the next couple of videos I'll be dropping down the line. All right, thank you and see you at the next video. Bye.